How to study and train. So hard you'll forget yourself. The Asta method. What if I told you the secret to studying harder, training harder, and becoming unrecognizable in a year isn't motivation? It's not talent, it's not discipline, and it's definitely not some magical morning routine. The real secret is something Asta from Black Clover understands better than most people in real life. Asta was born without magic in a world where magic is everything. By all logic, he should have failed. Yet he becomes one of the strongest people alive. Why? Because he discovered a truth that modern neuroscience now confirms. Your brain doesn't become what you want. It becomes what you repeatedly do. Today, we're breaking down how to study and train so intensely that your old self disappears. Not through fantasy, but through science. Part 1. Why most people fails. People begin change the same way. They get inspired. They create a perfect schedule. 4-hour study blocks, daily workouts, reading, meditation. Everything starts Monday. 3 days later, it's gone. Why? Because motivation is emotional, but transformation is biological. Your brain is designed to resist sudden change. Scientists call this homeostasis. Your body and mind want stability. When you suddenly demand massive effort, your brain sees it as a threat and pushes you back toward familiar habits. This is why people quit. Not because they're weak, because they're fighting their own wiring. Asta understood something most people don't. He didn't become powerful overnight. He repeated simple actions every day. Again, and again, and again, until effort became his identity. Part 2. The science of becoming someone new. Every time you repeat an action, neurons in your brain strengthen their connections. This process is called neuroplasticity. Imagine your brain as a forest. The first time you perform a difficult task, you're cutting through dense trees. It's exhausting. But each repetition clears the path. Eventually, that path becomes a road, then a highway, then autopilot. The mistake most people make is trying to sprint before they've even built the road. Asta didn't start with impossible challenges. He started with repetition, the same effort, the same commitment, every day. That's how real growth works. Consistency beats intensity, at least in the beginning, because consistency eventually creates intensity. Part 3. Start so small. It feels stupid. This is where most people go wrong. They want massive results immediately. But if you want extraordinary results, you need microscopic beginnings. Want to study 4 hours a day? Start with 20 minutes. Want to train 6 days a week? Start with 15 minutes. Research on habit formation shows tiny habits survive far longer than ambitious ones. Why? Because small wins create dopamine. And dopamine isn't just the chemical of pleasure, it's the chemical of reinforcement. It tells your brain, that action mattered. Do it again. Small wins create momentum. Momentum creates consistency. Consistency creates identity. Identity creates transformation. Instead of saying, I'm trying to study, say, I'm becoming someone who studies. Instead of, I'm trying to get fit, say, I'm becoming an athlete. Asta never acts like someone hoping to become Wizard King. He behaves like the future Wizard King already. That's the difference. The strongest people don't wait for identity before action. They build identity through action. Part 4. The 3 stages of growth. Every transformation follows 3 stages. Stage 1. Resistance. Everything feels difficult. You don't want to train. You don't want to study. You constantly look for excuses. This is normal. Your brain is adapting. Stage 2. Adaptation. Things start becoming easier. Routines feel familiar. Missing a session feels strange. You're no longer relying entirely on motivation. You're relying on systems. Stage 3. Identity. This is where everything changes. You stop forcing yourself. You simply become the kind of person who trains, studies, and improves. At this stage, you've stopped fighting yourself. You've become someone new. Part 5. Why Asta never gives up. People think Asta's greatest power is determination. It's not. His greatest power is adaptation. Every obstacle becomes information. Every failure becomes feedback. Every defeat becomes data. That's exactly how elite performers think. When top students fail an exam, they don't ask, "Am I smart enough?" They ask, "What can I improve?" When athletes miss a workout, they don't think, "I ruined everything." They think, "How do I get back on track tomorrow?" Failure is only permanent when you stop learning from it. Asta never treats setbacks as evidence that he can't succeed. He treats them as part of the training, and that's a mindset anyone can develop. Part 6. The forget yourself effect. Now let's talk about something powerful. There comes a point during intense study or training where you stop thinking about yourself entirely. Psychologists call this flow state, or the zone. Your sense of time disappears. Self-consciousness fades. Focus becomes absolute. Athletes experience it. Artists experience it. Gamers experience it. Students experience it. This is where learning and performance accelerate dramatically. But flow cannot be forced. It must be earned. The challenge has to be difficult enough to demand focus, but not so difficult that it overwhelms you. Too easy, and you're bored. Too difficult, and you're anxious. This is why gradual progression matters. Study a little longer each week. Train a little harder each month. Increase the challenge as your skill increases. Eventually, you spend more and more time in flow. Hours begin to feel like minutes. Work begins to feel natural. And that's when you start forgetting yourself. Not because you're escaping reality, but because you're completely immersed in it. The practical system. So here's the blueprint. Step 1. Choose one study habit and one training habit. Nothing more. Step 2. Make them embarrassingly easy. 20 minutes of studying, 15 minutes of training. Step 3. Never miss twice. One missed day is a mistake. 2 missed days become a pattern. Step 4. Increase difficulty gradually. 5 to 10% each week is enough. Slow progress eventually will compound into massive change. Step 5. Track consistency, not results. Focus on showing up. Results follow attendance, not the other way around. And most importantly, remember that you're not building habits. You're building a person. Every workout is a vote. Every study session is a vote. Every difficult decision is a vote for the person you're becoming. The conclusion. Asta wasn't born special. Neither were his buddies and friends, the Black Bulls. Neither were I or you. Neither were most top students. Neither were most successful people. What separates them isn't talent. It's repetition. The willingness to continue after motivation disappears. The willingness to remain consistent when nobody is watching. The willingness to trust the process long enough for identity to change. So start small, stay consistent, increase gradually, and one day you'll look back and realize something strange happened. The person who always procrastinated, the person who doubted themselves, the person who constantly quit, is gone. Not because they disappeared, but because you outgrew them. You became stronger than your excuses, stronger than your doubts, stronger than the version of yourself that wanted to stay comfortable. Just like Asta, you won't change because of talent. You won't change because of luck. You'll change because you kept showing up long after everyone else stopped. No magic, no shortcuts, just relentless progress repeated until the impossible becomes normal. And when that day comes, you'll realize something incredible. you didn't just build better habits, you built a completely different person. So that's the end of the video. If you found it useful, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the opportunity to greatness. Until next time, see you all.